Hello, my sunshiny friends. How are we doing today? Why are GLP1's different? That's what we want to talk about today. Hello, my friends. I am Cheryl. This is my channel, Sunshine Storyline. We are here on a lifetime roller coaster of weight loss. I recently realized that calling it a weight loss journey, calling it a weight loss anything, it's just something it's really not. This has been something that has changed my mindset, has changed the way I think about weight, I think about food, I think about life in general. I always laughed before when I heard people say that you should be like eating to like fuel your body, not like eating like food. I don't know. There's something like people have said, but basically like that we should be eating because our body needs food. We shouldn't just be eating to eat. And most of my almost 52 years have been spent eating to eat. I love food. My family loves food. All the holidays are around food. All the celebrations are around food. Food is a huge part of our life. And it was just eating to eat, where I'm starting to get that mentality and the understanding now that food is fuel and your body needs fuel, like your car needs fuel. Our body needs fuel, but it needs it in the right way to function properly, if that makes sense. So yeah, let's talk. Again, I am Cheryl. This is my channel. We have been on this this weight loss life now for 24 weeks, going on 25 weeks, down just over 38 pounds. So averaging about 1.5 pounds a week, which has been fantastic. So recently in the comments, someone had asked, and this is no like shade on this person at all. This person was not being rude, disrespectful. At least I didn't take it that way. But asked a serious question, and I tried to answer her or him to the best of my ability. But you know, then I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I'm sure that there's a lot of people who have the same questions, and I kind of did too. In the beginning, this wasn't like, I didn't hear about GLP-1s and be like, boom, I'm going to try that. It was quite a while. And then, you know, there was a lot more involved than that. So someone had recently asked or said, people are going high protein, low carb with these meds, but that diet alone makes you lose weight. What are the meds adding? And I actually thought that was a really good question. And it's probably a question that I had prior to this this lifestyle change as well. Sorry, this is my protein coffee, or my new protein coffee. It's Slate. It's really, really good, 20 grams of protein, which brings me to people's confusion about protein. And let me tell you, when I first started this, I felt like if I heard the word protein one more time, I was like just gonna lose it. Because to me, I was thinking like, how much chicken, fish, and peanut butter could I eat in the course of a day? And I heard people throwing out like all kinds of wild and crazy numbers, like 100 to 140 grams of protein, or 1 gram for every pound of body fat. And I was like, okay, like who the hell could eat that much protein? Like that's crazy. So I met with a dietitian recently, and we discussed protein goals and like all the things. So I wanted to give you kind of my hot take on what the meds are adding for me personally. Now, please, please, please remember, I am not a doctor. I do not pretend to be one in your living room. I am not a medical professional. I am not a scientist, a researcher, any of the things, but there are phenomenal resources on YouTube and the internet, or your own doctor, who can give you like the scientific reasonings behind some of these. I'm going to give you my reasonings, why I think or why these medications are helping me and what they're adding to my life. So I just want to go back a few steps here for you. Over the course of, so I will be 52 next week. Over the course of at least the last 35 years or so, I have gone on, I could not count how many diets, how many medications, how many over-the-counter things, bought how much crap off the internet. I mean, we're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. Back in the day, fen-phen was a huge thing, and I knew people losing weight on fen-phen. And a lot of those people now are bigger than I am when I started this journey. People were, and my doctor would not prescribe me the fen-phen. I tried, trust me. But I was able to get from Australia Xenical. If anybody's familiar with Orlistat, I think this is the over-the-counter one now, this Alley brand. I got this. This was, the pills kind of look the same as the ones that I used to take. So if anybody's familiar with these, you take these 3 times a day, and I took the Xenical. And like I said, I was getting them from Australia. It was like super secret. I didn't want anybody to know what I was doing. And I was taking these pills that I couldn't get prescribed. My doctor wouldn't give me these medications. Things were not, you know, researched kind of the same way and the right way, and they were expensive. I think my insurance wouldn't cover it at the time, and it was going to cost me like, I don't even know how much money. So I went on the internet, and I got them from Australia, and they were still like $200 a month. And you would take the medication, and you would take them, I want to say like a half an hour before you eat, and then you would basically be in the bathroom for the next hour, and it was like an oil change was happening in your body. It was absolutely insane. I cannot even believe I'm telling the internet this, but I want you to understand where I'm coming from and why I chose these medications. So that was Xenical. I cannot count how many times I've joined Weight Watchers and then canceled Weight Watchers and joined Weight Watchers and canceled Weight Watchers. Like literally more than a dozen times, probably more than 20. It got so bad where I had to start like using different email addresses and stuff like that. It was bad. I have absolutely no idea how many gyms I have joined over the course of the past 35 years. At least 6. Probably have gone into each of them less than a dozen times. I bought a pool 4 years ago. We're in the process of putting up another one, so hopefully that one will work out. I have bought treadmills. I bought exercise contraptions off the internet where they did like, I don't even know what kind of weird ass stuff. I have tried every diet pill known to man. I bought this stuff off the internet one time that you were supposed to sprinkle on your food and it would make your food taste bad so you wouldn't want to eat it. It was like $200. And it came in like a little salt shaker and you would put it on your food. But like, who does that? Like, just that was, so I just wanted to show you guys some of the things that I have purchased that were literally either upstairs in my bedside table or in my desk drawer right here. So the Ally, I showed you guys recently the 15-day cleanse. This was the last thing I bought 2 weeks before I started my Zepbound journey. And I still tried these for you guys last month or so. You can go back and check that video out. There's still some in the box, in the bottle. I bought these maybe about a year or 2 ago. Bio Complete. I don't even know. Hold on. My app is telling me to drink water. I'm working on it. I don't have the watch anymore. I gave it to my son, but I do have it on my phone. And when it comes up, I try really hard if I see it. So this is a all-in-one prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic formula to support optimal gut health. But basically it was sold as like a diet pill. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot take these supplements and these medications that like you're taking 2 or 3 with 4 bottles of water before every single time you breathe. Like this was 4 capsules a day with 8 ounces of water. Like what? And then I would get these things in the mail and be like, why? I mean, look at, like, come on. And then you got to drink all this water to like get them down, and then they feel like they sit right here. Like, what the heck? I bought CBD like 5 years ago because I read that taking CBD can help you lose weight and all of this stuff. Yep, I took a lot of that. This was like $220. So that was in my drawer. And then I bought, this was like a big high school thing. Anybody else, like all the girls in high school would take diet pills. So I was like, hey, maybe I'm retaining water. So I had those. This is one of my favorites. All right, is anybody else here with me? I bought this on, I think I saw it on like a TikTok, and then I bought it on Amazon. This was like 5 years ago. So it wasn't TikTok, it was something else. So there's, I don't even know, like it came from China or something. The packaging's no longer here, but basically like there's some herbs or something. Smells disgusting. It's this little packet, and it's in like tissue paper. If anybody else has seen these before or actually got suckered into buying them, please comment. I don't even know why I still have them. So you would take this out, this little ball. It smells so bad. so bad. Like, look, how many did I use? You would take that little ball and you would put it in your belly button. And then you would take this patch and you would put this over it to go to sleep at night. And you're magically going to lose weight. This is how much I love you guys. I'm like revealing all of this freaking stupidity to explain to you the real reason what these medications are doing differently than all of the other crap that I've tried. So basically what I'm trying to say is people like myself who have been overweight basically their entire life and suffer from the disease of obesity. First of all, it's not a lifestyle choice, believe me. This has been something that has been a struggle that I have struggled with my entire life since I was 8 years old is my first core memory. If I could eat high protein and low carbs and diet like I'm supposed to, I would. I can't. My brain tells me something different. And I know to a lot of people, and there's even a lot of, I've seen like Piers Morgan show and stuff where they're like, just stop putting freaking food in your mouth and go to the gym, fat ass. It's not that easy. It's an addiction. It just is. I wish it wasn't, and I wish I didn't have to say that because I have my own addiction feelings. But it is. If the majority of people who are taking these medications for weight loss, and I say the majority because some people are taking them that should not be taking them for sure, but the majority of people who are taking them properly, taking them with medical supervision, at the advice of their doctor, or for other underlying conditions, we're doing it because we have a problem. So with these medications, the medication is helping in 2 other aspects that I have had a hard time controlling. Basically, when you eat a meal while you're taking these medications, the minute you start to feel full, your brain tells you to stop. And I do. This was something I never did before. If I made the food, first of all, I'm a really good cook. I will be the first one to tell you. I can cook. My food is good. I want to eat my own food. My husband wants to eat my food. My kids want to eat food. And it would kind of almost get to the point where like certain things I would make I would be like, well, I don't want him to have it. Or if I don't eat it now, the leftovers won't be there. And that was kind of the mentality. Like it just got to be, it was crazy. So I would eat more because I knew how good it was. And if I didn't eat it now, it wouldn't be there the next day. Does that make sense? And again, I'm sure that there's people here who are going to come in the comments and be like, why didn't you just not friggin' eat it? If I could have, I would have. It's not something that can be controlled. It's an addiction, and it's something in my brain that just doesn't work properly. It just is. And it took me over 50 years to come to that realization. And it was really these medications that helped me get there, because I thought it was me too. I thought I was broken. I thought I just was fat and couldn't control myself. And once you start taking these medications and realizing with the help of the medication that your brain works differently, it's just the most unbelievable realization. It's pretty wild, and it's pretty quickly that you start to realize it, like within the first couple of days. For some people, it's within the first hour. For me, it was like 2 days. And I wasn't looking for it, and I wasn't realizing it. And then all of a sudden, a couple of days later, I was like, I realized that I wasn't thinking about food while watching TV, and I wasn't getting up looking for snacks. So the first thing that the medication does is help you feel full longer. And what the medication does is actually makes them, and I'm not going to say this in all the right terminologies and blah, blah, blah. This is me. This is how I can describe it best to common folk, right? If you're looking for all the medical terminology, there's other channels that do that better. There's other channels that do the research and all of those things. I'm giving you this from my perspective and my point of view, and the best way that I can think to explain it to someone who doesn't understand, right? So the medication makes it so that the food sits in your stomach longer. So we eat food, it goes to our stomach. From our stomach, it gets processed, and you digest it, and you go to the bathroom, and out comes the bad crap, literally, that's left, right? So this medication makes it so that the food stays in your stomach longer. And because the food doesn't break down as quickly and stays in your stomach, you feel fuller quicker, and you feel fuller and satisfied longer. So some people may say, oh, that's disgusting. The food's just sitting there. That's gross. That's, everyone is entitled to their own opinions on that. But it makes you feel fuller, and you're more satisfied. And one problem that I think a lot of overeaters have, and I had this problem and I see it within my own family, is you start to get full, and you're like, you go out for dinner and it's somebody's birthday and you're having like a great meal, and you're like, oh my God, this is so good. I'm really full, but you don't stop eating because there's still food, or it's so tasty. You can't make yourself stop. This medication tells your brain to stop, and you do. Within the first few days of taking the medication, I started realizing that I wasn't finishing my meal and giving myself smaller portions, which are actually probably the appropriate portions for a person. I was eating, sometimes 2 plates of food at dinner, because this chicken cutlet is so good, and who doesn't love chicken parmesan, right? And always having that second chicken. Nobody needs the second chicken dinner. It's not like I was just having a small piece of chicken. No, I'm having another whole chicken cutlet with mozzarella and more pasta. Nobody needs that. So I started eating smaller portions, and I started stopping when my brain told me I was full, even if that meant only leaving 2 bites, because I would have 2 or 3 bites of food left and I was full, and I was like, well, it's only 2 or 3 bites. What? Stop. It's only 2 or 3 bites. You don't need it. Throw it away. It's fine. You can throw it away. It's okay. And another thing that it has helped me to do now, from starting to realize this and starting to realize how much food I was making, for the most part, it's 3 of us eating, myself, my husband, and my teenage son, who's 14. on any given night, my older son and his girlfriend could also be here, but very, very sporadically, and they'll tell me ahead of time. I would be making a pound of pasta for the three of us. And I started to realize just how ridiculous that was, because it's just giving us the opportunity to eat more because it's in front of us. And 9 times out of 10, I was packaging it up and putting it in the refrigerator, and it's not going to get eaten later, and then throwing it away. So I would make 8 chicken cutlets, let's say, for 3 of us. And there would now be the extra. So we would want to eat the extra or then be eating it again the next day. So now I make less. My food lasts longer. When I buy like a family pack of chicken, it's kind of crazy how many I'll slice them real thin now. It's crazy how much, once you start to realize portion size, but all of this was with the help of the medication. Once I started realizing how much I was eating and how much I needed to actually fuel my body, over the course of the next couple of months, I started to realize that I was adding to the problem by cooking so much and giving sometimes too much choice. If you put it out and this is what's for dinner and this is the amount that's for dinner, this is what we're going to eat. And you know what? Everybody's fine and everybody's okay. And by doing some of that, everyone else in my house is starting to become healthier as well. So the medication helps you to feel fuller longer so that you eat less. And it helps you to know when you're full and tells your brain, we're full now, stop eating. So that's the number one thing that the medication does. The number 2 thing with the tirzepatide specifically is it also focuses on the brain. And again, you can go and research this and find out what part of the brain it helps and what it's doing. But this medication basically tells your brain, it shuts off the portion of the brain that causes food noise. And this wasn't something I had ever heard of before. I'm getting in my protein. This wasn't something that I had heard of before. And even in the very beginning, I wasn't watching all the videos and doing all the things in the first week or so. And one night, all of a sudden it dawned on me that I wasn't getting up and getting snacks. And I was just watching TV with my husband. And I wasn't wondering what was in the closet or what was in the refrigerator or where the cake was from the birthday last night or whatever the case may be. And I started to think about it and I was like, what the hell? And then in watching the other people's videos and stuff, I started to hear the word food noise or the term. And I was like, what? And I was like, dang, that's what it was. I literally was 51 and a half years old before I ever heard that term in my life. No one had ever said to me that your brain doesn't work right and it's telling you, but maybe one of you now will hear this and be like, damn, that's what happens to me. So I am quite positive that this is something that only happens with someone who is suffering from a food problem of some sort. And this medication helps to shut that part down so that you're not always thinking about food. And if you are thinking about food, it's probably because your body needs it and you're hungry. And then you can go and eat something. So that is why, or what the medications are adding to my life and why things are different with the medication. Now, the high protein, low carb, and people could just be doing that. I'm just going to touch on that super quick. If you go back maybe a day or 2 ago, I had a video from after my appointment with a dietitian and what they had to say about protein and all of these types of things. But I will say I am not doing high protein, low carb. I am doing as much protein as I possibly can and eating more consciously. So I still go out for ice cream. If we want ice cream, I go get ice cream. I just eat a kitty cup of ice cream and I am perfectly content. If it's somebody's birthday and I feel like having a piece of cake, I have a piece of cake. If I don't want the cake, I don't. Last night it was somebody's birthday. There was cupcakes. I was like, no, I'm good. I had just had a Clio bar. I brought a Clio bar with me. They're yogurt, chocolate covered yogurt bars. Taste like cheesecake. They're phenomenal. I had brought one of those with me last night and I had literally just had one. Got my 4 grams of protein. Cupcakes came out and I was like, I'm good, thank you. Not because I was like, oh, I'm fat, I don't want to have a cupcake. No, it was because I was satisfied and I didn't need a cupcake. And I had the willpower to say no. So the protein portion of it is more because when people start a weight loss journey, whether it's medical induced, like with the aid of some type of medication or shot, or if you have the willpower to do it on your own, if you stop losing weight rapidly, your body starts to lose muscle. And that is why the protein portion of it is so important. Because in the beginning, I was like, this is so stupid. Like, why do I need all this protein? I am losing weight slowly, so I'm hoping that I'm not losing muscle as quickly, but I did meet with people, and basically the only way to know how much muscle you're losing is to go to like a specialist and have like a muscle, there's like a machine that they can put you on, and it kind of tells you how much muscle loss you have in your body. So obviously I'm not going to do that, so I need to do what I can to retain as much muscle as possible. I'm going to be 52 next week. I'm probably in menopause right now. I have joint issues. I have other medical issues. So my muscles are probably already being beaten down. So anyone who's on a weight loss journey who plans to lose a significant amount of weight needs to be concerned about their protein intake, because the more protein you're intaking, the more help you're going to help with your muscles staying strong. The dietitian that I was at just told me that for people who lose 20% of their body weight, 40% of that is muscle that they will lose. So obviously that's something that people have to be concerned about. And that specifically has nothing to do with my little friend here. That is for anybody losing weight. So anybody who's losing weight should be getting the protein in that they need. Everybody's may be different because everybody's starting weight is going to be different. I know for me, my dietitian wants me at 90 grams of protein a day. So I am doing my best. It is extremely difficult, but instead of a cupcake, I will throw something protein-y in there, i.e. these bars that have a little bit more protein, gives me like kind of curbs my little sweet tooth if I have one. Protein chips instead of regular chips, so that I'm adding that protein in. That's so the medication itself is aiding in those other 2 ways. All diets are going to require protein, if that makes sense. So I hope that this helps a little bit in understanding what the shots or the GLP1s are doing or are adding to people's lives or diet routine or journey in a little bit more detail. And like I said, this is just from my personal experience. I'm sure other people will have different opinions and what it does for them or doesn't do for them. And everybody's going to be a little different. I'm sure that there's that 1 or 2% or maybe more people that this isn't working for. I know I have a family member who is severely diabetic, tried one of the GLP1s that's for diabetes and made him extremely ill, can't take it. So everybody's body reacts differently. I have been extremely lucky that I haven't had major side effects, and I have continued to lose weight for the past 24 weeks. So yeah, I just wanted to, maybe this will help someone who has questions, someone who has been struggling and didn't really know where to start and if it would be for them. I would say talk to your doctor. Maybe it's a step in the direction that could help you. Or maybe just adding the protein into your diet would be the way to go for you as well. But I just wanted to let everybody know that that was where we were coming from, because there have been some questions recently. I hope this cleared up any question that you may have been having. And if it did help you, I would appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up, go subscribe, share it with anybody else that you think it could be helpful with. And we will see you guys real soon. Bye.